is an institute that has been serving the West African democratic institutions
to support them in the process of harmonizing their standing orders.
Pushing an agenda for post-legislative scrutiny.
We have graduated at CSET.
Things actually have changed.
The approved say aye. Those against say nay, the ayes have it.
The legislature is the backbone of democracy. It is said that when you take away the legislature, you no longer have a democracy. It is the arm of government that ensures the attainment of good governance by providing effective representation for the people in policy formulation and implementation. This is in addition to making laws, authorizing government expenditure for the people, as well as making sure funds are judiciously utilized through its responsibility of oversight.
Those in favor, please say aye. Those against, please say nay. Ayes have it.
It is a fact that the quality and capacity of the legislature more than determines its efficacy and efficiency in performing its functions. To this extent, a support institution that guarantees that the legislature and indeed all parliamentary institutions within the country achieve and maintain globally acceptable practices, receive training and retraining on the technicalities of its functions is a requisite for the growth of democracy. Herein lies the need for the National Institute for Legislative and Democratic Studies, NILDS, established primarily to build the capacity of legislators, parliamentary and legislative aides, as well as provide technical support to the legislature in Nigeria, ECOWAS Parliament and national parliaments in the sub-region and the continent at large. NILDS is also to provide legislative support services to the legislature through the drafting of bills and motions, briefs or documents, and technical output in form of policy analysis, information briefs, research, and statistics.
I, Olusegun Obasanjo,
do solemnly swear.
Do solemnly swear.
The journey to where NILDS is today started with Nigeria's return to democracy in 1999, when the Policy Analysis and Research Project PARP was established in 2003 with the financial support of the African Capacity Building Foundation, ACBF, with the overall goal of strengthening the capacity of the National Assembly to enable it effectively discharge its constitutional duties of legislation, representation, and oversight. PARP evolved into an institute with the Legislative Studies Act 2011, which was signed by President Goodluck Ebele Jonathan. President Muhammadu Buhari expanded the mandate of the institute with the signing into law of the National Institute for Legislative Studies Amendment Act 2017. The expansion broadened the scope of the institute to include the provision of technical and support services to democratic institutions, political parties, civil society organizations, media organizations, and political appointees.
I, Hakeem Olufemi Gbajabiamila,
do solemnly affirm
that
The impact of NILDS in the development of Nigeria's legislature is obvious, especially with the ever-changing face of successive assemblies, with a greater number of new legislators coming on board with every democratic cycle.
It is ready. I so move.
NILDS has therefore been on ground, delivering on its core mandate of building capacity of legislators and supporting them in the drafting of bills and motions to effectively represent its people. The institute is structured to have a Director General, who is the Chief Executive Officer of the institute, saddled with the responsibility of running its affairs. NILDS also has a governing council with the President of the Senate as the chairman and the Speaker of the House of Representatives as the alternate chairman. The current governing council of the institute comprises of the following members: President of the Senate, Ahmed Lawan, Chairman; Speaker, House of Representatives, Right Honorable Femi Gbajabiamila, Alternate Chairman. Other members include Senator Abdullahi Yahya, Senator Philip Aduda, Senator Saidu Alkali, Senator Solomon Olamilekan, Senator Sam Egu, and Senator Degi Biabarakuma. Others are Honorable Tajuddin Abbas, Honorable Joseph Edionwale, Honorable Jimo Olajide Abdul, Chairman, National Assembly Service Commission, Clerk to the National Assembly, Magaji Tambuwal, and the Director General of NILDS, Professor Abubakar O. Sulaiman, who serves as the Council's Secretary. Since establishment in 2011, the Institute has had two Directors General. Professor Ladi Hamalay, MFR, was the first Director General of the Institute. Professor Abubakar Olarinwaju Sulaiman became the second Director General of the Institute on the 28th of May, 2019. He is a Professor of Political Science and International Relations, a former Minister of National Planning, and one-time Deputy National Chairman of the National Planning Commission. He has brought his wealth of experience to bear in piloting the affairs of the Institute and repositioning it in the last 4 years. One of the very first tasks the DG undertook with the approval of the Council was to restructure the Institute, increasing the number of departments from 4 to 9. The reason was not far-fetched.
It's an institute that is serving not only Nigeria parliament, Nigerian democratic actors and institutions. It's an institute that has been serving the West African democratic institutions. We can't operate an institute of this magnitude in terms of services with just 4 departments.
The 9 departments in the Institute as it stands today include the Departments of Legislative Support Services, Democracy and Governance, Economic and Social Research, Studies, Training and International Cooperation, Admin and Human Resources, Finance and Account, Internal Audit and Library. How has the expansion through the restructuring of departments in the Institute added to the fulfillment of the mandate of the Institute? Some of the heads of departments assess their impact and contributions to the growth and development of the Institute.
We at the admin are the one that keep the Institute rolling, because admin and human resources do the recruitment, do the selection, then admin and human resources does the documentation when you are recruited into the service of the institute. The admin department grade what will be your salary and then post you to the appropriate department where you will work.
The act that established the institute came into existence in 2011, and it was amended in 2017. The Act, Section 2, Subsection 2B, specifically provides that the institute will act as a center for continued education on democracy and legislation. It was in a bid to actualize that mandate that made the leadership of the institute to engage the University of Benin on how to mount some postgraduate programs. The affiliation was approved by University of Benin Senate as well as the National Universities Commission, NUC. So during the 2013-2014 academic session, the program took off.
Apart from the restructuring of the institute, Professor Abubakar Sulaiman has pursued an agenda since his first year in office that has seen NILDS surpassing set targets in the delivery of its core mandate.
To produce the National Assembly communication strategies
in the area of building the capacity of legislators, parliamentary and legislative aides, NILDS has continued to provide specialized training for legislators and extended such services to the sub-national level through the state houses of assembly and local government councils, organizing training workshops among other capacity building engagements.
When you talk of parliamentary services, capacity building for the parliamentarians, and you try to abandon the state assembly, then we have not done anything. Good governance emanates from the base.
Training for state assemblies have been carried out in about 21 out of the 36 states of the Federation, including the FCT. For the first time in the history of the Institute, training was conducted for at the local government level, precisely the Abuja Area Council officials. Some principal officers of some state houses of assembly bear their minds on the capacity building collaborations between NILDS and their states.
The leadership of Professor Abubakar Sulaiman has brought a lot of life into the Institute. In fact, they have come out sound and loud now under his mandate with proper collaboration with all state houses of assembly.
We have benefited a lot in the terms of capacity building. They have done massively well. And we have serious improvement, especially those people that came new in the system.
The Institute's Director of Democracy and Governance, Dr. Adewale Aderemi, speaks on some of the Institute's engagements at sub-national level.
We work with the legislatures of Plateau State and Cardinal State to push the Gender and Equal Opportunities bill. It has become an act in Plateau State and hopefully very soon in Cardinal State as well. We have also worked to strengthen the Plateau State GEOB Commission, which was recently inaugurated. We have done a needs assessment for them as a department and on behalf of the Institute. And hopefully, we'll only take this further.
Most of the work done with the state assemblies have been carried out with the support of donor agencies and partners. Working with Conrad Adenua Stiftung, CAS, all the state houses of assembly today have a uniform standing order.
CAS and NILDS have teamed up to give support to the Conference of Speakers of the State Legislatures in Nigeria to support them in the process of harmonizing their standing orders.
Before now, the various state assembly, they have different manuals. What you call the standing order. What standing order of the Sokoto is not the same thing as Kano. But through our institutes, all state assembly today in Nigeria, they have what we call uniform standing order.
It's a very deserving training and is targeted towards...
Still on measuring the achievements of NILDS along the line of its core mandate, the Institute has done remarkably well in providing technical assistance to Nigerian parliaments. The director gives a breakdown of how this has been done in the last 4 years.
When you look at the statistics, when you look at the policy analysis and policy brief in the last 4 years, we had 100. When you look at the issue sector data briefs, we have 801. Our bill analysis is 703. Then the bills tracking is about 9. Then bill scrutiny, we have 446. Then the motion we have drafted so far in the last 4 years and briefs of arguments is 730. Then we have conducted a lot of research papers, which guides the legislature and even the executive. And we had about 100 research papers so far. Then we have a lot of seminar workshop, in-house workshop here and there, and that one amount to one round, one. Then our legislative data bank is about 463. Then the legal research division itself has come with a lot of research outputs, which is about 85. Then we have virtual workshop. And the virtual workshop came up board during the COVID-19 pandemic, when we could not sit one-on-one. And within that time, we had 34 virtual workshops.
Consistent with its role, the Institute, through the Department of Democracy and Governance, is bracing up to usher in the 10th Assembly and is planning a program on post-legislative scrutiny as part of efforts to prepare the legislators to cope with the task of lawmaking.
We also have, a program for the 10th Assembly where we are going to be pushing an agenda for post-legislative scrutiny. And what we want to do as a department, is to move, the focus of evaluation of successive assemblies from the number, of bills they pass to the quality and the impact of bills they pass.
Lawmakers speak on the impacts of NILDS in providing technical assistance and capacity building, among others, for members of parliament and the legislature at large.
It is an institution that is well equipped, and we have gained a lot from their expertise.
To measure how impactful a training is, we will only refer to the kind of people who were used to do or carry out this training, the facilitators, and the resource person that was used in this regard. And I must commend them that so far so good. We've not have any cause to regret.
It's not only for them to contribute and put flesh to what I want. They try to do what is called legislative scrutiny, to inform me whether that bill is relevant or is not relevant, where it is supposed to be. If there are adjustments that need to be done, this is how it should be done.
NILDS taught me on steps and strategies to undergo when you are doing oversight. But NILDS were able to propound about 40 items through which oversight needs to cover. And I benefited a lot.
The President of the Senate and Speaker House of Representatives, in their capacity as Chairman and the alternate Chairman of NILDS Governing Council, also share their thoughts on the impact of NILDS in capacity building of lawmakers and the legislature as an institution.
NILDS that started quite some time ago when we came to the National Assembly has transformed tremendously. And in fact, it is still going to transform, because as our needs as legislators and as parliaments are dynamic, so will be the activities of NILDS.
I am indeed proud to know that NILDS has diligently worked towards fulfilling its vision of becoming a top-tier research and training institution that promotes and supports the development of dynamic, effective, and accountable legislatures and democratic institutions in Nigeria and beyond.
There is no way the National Institute for Legislative and Democratic Studies can make an impact without well-motivated and efficient staff. Little wonder then that Professor Sulaiman has prioritized staff welfare and capacity building since he came on board.
I met a lot of grievances among the staff of the Institute. Issue that borders on stagnations of career progression, issue that borders on staff being on contracts for years without being confirmed, issue that borders on staff being on the same cadre for 7 years, issue that borders on staff not going on training. I address all this.
As part of quality control, Professor Sulaiman, upon assumption of office, ensured that the Institute has an administrative manual, which in other words can be referred to as a documented proper condition of service, necessary tool for creating a system that works for staff in the Institute.
I set up a committee headed by Baba Hakim Hamid, the former Chief of Staff to the Senate President. A seasoned, PAMSEC, with other areas of practitioners from other ministry, including Assembly Service Commission, to look into the admin manual and give us something that at least could guide us in terms of condition of service. So they came up with a condition of service, and the novel aspect of it was, for the first time, staff were made to make input. They were asked to make input. Memoranda was submitted, both from staff from outside. So today, we have a condition of service. It's playing a leading role in Africa. By extension, it depends on its kind in Africa. We must play that role too.
The system in place has entrenched staff motivation through training as well as promotion.
Almost everybody is getting promotion because staff are well appraised. So there is promotion as it is when the due.
Improving welfare, quality and capacity of staff has only further strengthened the status of the Institute as an academic institution poised to provide specialized training and manpower to support the development of democracy. Part of the achievements of the Institute in the last 4 years is a more strengthened academic program and Department of Studies.
How do we beef up the quality of our program, the content of this academic program? So the first thing I did as part of my vision, therefore, was to put on what I call Academic Advisory Board. We are not a university, but we should have something that is akin to a university. We should have something that is akin to a senate of the university. So we should have a board, a board in place that will look at our academic content, that will guide us, that will advise us. In our relationship with NUC, with MBTE, with University of Benin, we must have that quality control mechanism.
The Director of Studies at NILDS, Dr. Ashimiyu Abiola, also noted that the academic studies of the institution have been very impactful, which according to him has led to the diversity of enrollees for the postgraduate programs over the years.
We have 5 types of students. We have legislators, that is senators and honorable members. Honorable members even from states, as an assembly, our students. We have legislative staff, directors, senior people from the legislature, both at state and the National Assembly. We also have what we call legislative aides. These are the support staff to the lawmakers. And we also have people from the general public.
The director gives an insight on NILDS' academic session and enrollment procedures.
Currently, we are in the 9th academic session. We have graduated about 6 sets. So far, our total enrollment so far is around 800. We have graduated about 500. We are currently preparing graduating another set this year. And we are also admitting for the 10th academic session, which is the 2022-2023 academic session.
Surely, the National Institute for Legislative and Democratic Studies is making its mark in the growth and maturity of Nigeria's democracy. It is being driven towards excellence in its processes and impact, especially in the delivery of its core mandate. Staff of the Institute attribute the successes to the quality of leadership and stewardship of Professor Abubakar O. Sulaiman in the last 4 years.
With the coming of the DG Abubakar Olaruwaju Sulaiman, things actually have changed, more especially in the admin. It made our admin easy to work in such a manner that staff were sent for training. Almost every staff of admin has enjoyed a foreign training.
The current DG, straddles active political participation and the knowledge experience of having been in government with, a fairly lengthy academic, career.
He has demonstrated that he can hurt and he can as well help his staff. Hurt in terms of discipline when they err, and help in terms of motivating them.
No doubt, the last 4 years have stamped the mark of excellence on the National Institute for Legislative and Democratic Studies as an institution committed to delivering on its mandate and expanding on its scope. The commitment of Professor Abubakar O. Sulaiman, and by extension NILDS, is unwavering and totally sold out to the cause of entrenching strong and robust parliamentary and democratic institutions across the continent of Africa.